Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to an Ask the Expert session about Power BI. I'm going to take a few quick moments to introduce the session and how it will work, and then hand it off to our experts. Please use the chat to ask your questions. You may post anonymously or use your name. Please use the thumbs up button to vote for your favorite questions. Our experts will be answering questions verbally and over chat. They will also be providing you with some resources in the chat so that you can learn more and continue to engage. Please note that we will be recording this session and will post it for on-demand review later. Please do not record the session on your side. Also, we ask that you not spam the chat. Lastly, please adhere to the Microsoft Code of Conduct. Please take a moment to review it now. And with that, let's meet our experts. I will hand it over to them.
Hi there, my name is Amir Net and I'm the CTO of Power BI.
Hi, I'm Bogdan Krivos. I'm Director of Engineering for Power BI Enterprise and Analytics.
Hi, Hayden Richardson. I'm a Program Manager on the Power BI team.
And we may get more experts joining us in a couple of minutes, but let's start. So let's start with the first question that we have, okay? And it's a question from Alex Groberman, and he's asking, often there are business calculations that require recursion to compute, such as with tax calculations. Is there any plan to have some form of recursion in DAX? Willem, do you want to take it?
I think it's a very interesting topic. It opens our imagination to lots of things that we can build, but to answer very quickly, no, sadly, we don't have plans right now to add any recursion in DAX. I'd like to suggest all of you, if you support this idea, to go to Ideas Power BI and just submit this idea, and we are always looking for your votes, and we are going to take seriously everything that you're voting for.
The next question is from Iris. Iris is asking, I have a question about page views info in Power BI reports. Is it possible that we could retrieve the page view data from Power BI activity log using REST API or PowerShell instead of users matrix report? Thank you. Reference, tracking user activity in Power BI monitor usage metrics in the new workspace experience. And I guess you run out of space to write something. So one of the things that one of the very exciting features that we are about to release, and maybe Bogdan remembers the exact timeline, is the bring your own log analytics capability, which will allow you to record all the activities that are happening in Power BI in your own Azure Log Analytics. And then you'll not be subject to retention policy that we have, which we are required by regulations to not hold data for more than 30 days. And you can record all this data, and then you can query it as your heart content. Now, the Azure Log Analytics capability is something that is going to be developed gradually. We're going to introduce it. In the beginning, it will capture the analysis services, queries, and activities. But we're going to gradually expand it to all the activities that are going on in Power BI, including the page views of reports. In addition, I believe, and Hayden, you might want to interject here and make sure that I'm saying it correctly, there is quite a lot of information in the Office 365 audit log that we record a lot of the activities, including which reports are being viewed by whom. I don't know if it goes all the way to the page level. Hayden, do you remember?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not familiar with the details of the O365 audit log, so I don't know that one.
Okay. So I think it goes all the way to the report telling you which report was viewed by whom, but I don't think it goes to the page. And Iris, if you know the answer to that and you can correct us, that would be good. I guess you might have done some research already. So let us know.
I can add a few things here. The log analytics preview is actually already privately available. We are testing it with a few customers, and I'm pretty sure we are going to go into a public preview in a couple of months or so. And just like Amir mentioned, we are going to start with analysis services events, and then we plan to extend the events we are publishing to everything that happens inside Power BI. There is something that I need to share with you. To some extent, emitting the telemetry and make it available to customers, it's a bit of an arms race. Every time we offer more information, there are more requests for information. So this is one area where we plan to continually improve. We are never going to be done with the telemetry we are offering.
Great. So the next question is from Andrew, short one. Are there plans for integration with Azure Purview for Power BI? And the answer is easy. That's yes, a resounding yes on this one. We actually already integrated with Azure Purview in the sense that Purview scans the metadata from Power BI and populates its catalog. For those not familiar with Purview, it's the new generation of the Azure data catalog. And it's a very scalable, very exciting offering that is now in public preview. And so it really captures all the metadata from all the systems that you have and give you a complete picture of your data estate. And Power BI is one of the first services at Microsoft that are integrated with Purview. So we populate the Purview catalog, and we also have quite a lot of work going in the other way around. For example, when you are setting in Purview MIP labels and tables on SQL Server, then those MIP labels will, MIP, if you don't know, Microsoft Information Protection, these are the things that tells you if things are confidential or generally available or highly confidential. And so these things are picked up by Power BI. So you set them up in Purview, goes to SQL Server, to the Azure SQL or Synapse, and then it goes to Power BI. And there will be more and more integration point with Purview. We are very, very excited about the joint work we're doing with that team. So yes.
There's an interesting one here. What are the best resources to help end users adopt and use Power BI throughout the company? I think we have lots of documentation that we are publishing, and Amir, maybe you want to add something to what I'm saying here, but the document that I want to point out, which I'm going to include in the reply, so already Hayden included something, I'm going to add something else. We have documentation on the Microsoft site for creating a Power BI Center of Excellence. And I find that document as being, again, I'm working on the enterprise part of Power BI, but I find that document as being very, very useful to many of our customers, and I hope it's going to be useful for you.
Great. And yes, and this is something that we constantly having more and more blogs. There's actually a lot of very, very active community. If you haven't joined the community, the Power BI community sites, I don't know if you guys know, but the Power BI community is one of the most active communities in all of Microsoft. It's pretty incredible how many, with the level of activity we have there. People communicate and share each other practice of how to make the deployment of Power BI in organization more successful and to spread the love for data. There are quite a lot of other documents, white papers. For example, the enterprise deployment document. I forget the exact name, but you should look for it. It's like 200-page document about how to deploy Power BI in the whole enterprise. A lot of good practices. Another question here is about history snapshots for paginate reports in the Power BI service. This one is, I don't think it's, Bogdan, you remember the semester plan. I don't think this is showing up in the semester plan for the paginate reports.
It's not in this upcoming semester's plans, but it is something that we really consider, and it is something on our backlog. So our best guess right now, but again, it's just a guess, is that it's going to happen perhaps sometimes next calendar year. But again, it's just a guess, and it may be changed to other priorities.
And so, and there are workarounds, I believe, for that. One of the workarounds is to be able to use the Power Automate, that whenever a report is being created, you can actually capture that report document and drop it into a OneDrive folder. So and accumulate this way the those reports in the folder, but they will not show up natively as an artifact you can pull directly from the Power BI service. So what we would like to do is, when you're watching a paginate report in the service, you'll be able to get a history drop down and say, hey, show me the report from last month or the month before and so forth, just built into the experience in Power BI. That's not there yet. But if you just want to capture for auditing purposes and other purposes, those reports, you can do it with automations. Okay. So Vanessa is asking, are there any plans to support tenant-to-tenant migration for Power BI? Tenant-to-tenant migration. So Vanessa, this is I'm guessing your question is something like in a situation where maybe one company is acquiring another company. Tell me if I'm wrong here. Well, of course, you cannot tell me very easily. But I think this is the question. We don't have direct plans for that. What we do support right now is to move the tenant from one region to another region, but we don't support it from one tenant, the content from one tenant to another tenant. So something certainly, as Bogdan said, if there is demand for it, there's a request, create an idea on ideas.powerbi.com, get the votes, and we'll try to prioritize it. There is a different question from Ami.
Ami, right? It's about the best practice for managing different versions of reports, specifically different users having slightly different reports and having different results. I mean, maybe you can add more here. I think this is something that we really want to have. I'm not aware of any plans right now to ship it anytime soon, but it's a feature that I think we could use in quite a few areas.
Yeah, I think the starting point here, there's no direct feature. So hey, we have the feature of identify similar but a little bit different reports. We don't have that feature. But I think the starting point here is Purview, that data catalog that keeps all the artifacts that we have in Power BI, and you can see all the reports that connect to the same data, and we give you a lot of details about it. That would be a good starting point. I don't think it will really completely solve your problem, but it gives you at least maybe the beginning of a thread to pull. Okay, let's see what else we have.
Skip the couple of announcements. We have a question for data flows. Maxi is asking if there are any plans to change the ownership schema for Power BI data flows, because currently only a creator can edit existing objects. Actually, we do have plans, and we hope to go in preview again very quickly in a matter of months. What we want to do first, Maxi, is to allow non-owners to at least change the queries inside the data flow. Data flows have a close relationships, as you know, with the data sources they're connected to, and the data sources are using the creator's identity to connect to the underlying data source. But what we plan to do on short term is to allow non-creators to change the shaping of data once data is being retrieved from the same data sources. So that means that practically the data flow will consume the same data, but a non-creator will have the opportunity to, if they have the right permissions, to change the shape of the transformations. And I hope this is going to be a good start.
There's a question from Luke asking when using relative time filter, Power BI dashboard always uses UTC time regardless of what time zone I use. Is there a way to change that? I don't think so. It's a feature that you might want to ask for, and I see a lot of upvotes on this one. So clearly you get a lot of people who think this is a problem. So it might be a small change. We might want to take a look, bring the team to see if there's something quick that somebody can do, because that does make sense. I think it makes a lot of sense that you should be able to set it, especially if you're building a report for a work group and you know the time zone that the group is sitting on. Like we're in Seattle, we know most of our team is in Seattle, so we'd like to use the Pacific time zone. Yeah, that makes tons of sense. 13 votes, upvotes right now. Like a small feature that a lot of people appreciate if we do. Okay, got it. Bogdan, maybe you should take a note then.
Sure. The question from Gavin is there a plan to include the ability to retrieve report dataset or data flow and general artifact access permissions via the API? It is currently difficult to audit report access without an easy way to retrieve this information. I'm not aware of any plans right now for this feature. We are very focused, and you will see the results probably over the next few months to 1 year, in improving the administration experience for Power BI. I don't want to reveal too much, but you are going to see lots of things coming there. It is a great opportunity for you to post this suggestion on the ideas forum, and it is something that I will personally take to the team working on this as something interesting. But I'm not aware of any upcoming months.
Yeah. Okay.
The next question is,
look at how many questions we have about auditing here. It just maybe tells us something about. Yeah. Okay.
The next question is from Danielle, and she's asking, are you planning to add the possibility to change tenant in Power BI desktop like in Teams? For me, a consultant who is invited in different tenants, that would be very useful. I am no desktop expert, and I think Hayden can do a better job than me here, but I am wondering, isn't it sufficient to log out from your desktop and log in with credentials belonging to a different tenant? I don't know, Hayden or Amir, if you want to add to this.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what I suggested.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You have an answer here.
Okay, there's an answer. Yeah, so it should just log out and log in again with the other credentials. And if we tried it and didn't work for you, Danielle, then let us know. There's an anonymous question here. Do you plan to allow for Power BI data cards to be exposed in other Office 365 apps based on smart tags such as customer number? That's something that we have been discussing quite extensively. We're not there yet, I think, because it requires both work from us and some of the other Office applications. I think we're talking about the Project Yellow or the smart entity. I forget how it's called. The rich entity, the data types. Yeah, data types in Excel. And it's something that I love to be able to do across the board. I like to get an email where there's a customer name showing up there, and then basically hover over and see that all additional information about it. We have click-throughs for that. We have designs for it. We are not yet scheduled planned with it. We have to get the other teams to work with us on this, like the Outlook team or the Teams team and so forth. We do actually, I would say there is more likelihood that we'll be able to do something with Teams. So if you're in a chat and you are talking about certain entities, I think the Teams, with Teams we can do something, but we don't have a concrete plan right now, not something that will show up in the next 6 months. We'd love to do that.
The next question from Maribel. Are there any plans to easily bulk copy measures or groups of data values from a PBIX to a PBIX thin model that is connected to a separate dataset? Tabular Editor only supports this somewhat between two PBIXs that have their own models. I think this feature would be very helpful in to developing and supporting enterprise and self-service BI. So I can start this, and Amir, please add your thoughts here. We have lots of plans to make the professional developer experience better. Those plans, I mean, you need to look a bit at what we've done so far in Power BI. We already support XMLA, the XMLA endpoint for the Power BI Premium. And that means that you can deploy a model from SSDT all the way to Power BI Premium, and you can do all the scripting that you want in SSDT. What we are working on right now is to make sure that the changes that are deployed through XMLA, you know, is a super rich language. You can put lots of stuff inside. Not everything that you can put in XMLA is fully supported by the desktop models right now. So we are working on something that we call internally hardening, which is first make the desktop support fully everything that can be deployed from SSDT or through the XMLA endpoint. And the next step will be to significantly improve the pro developer experience. And one way or another, this is going to be centered around the desktop, because desktop is where we want to do everything inside Power BI. Amir, please add your thoughts here.
No, I accept your answer. I look, there are 64 published questions, so we'll have to kind of rush to get through more of those. So let's go to the next one. How is, from Andy, how is memory managed in Power BI Premium Gen 2? Everything seems to be about cores and compute. And this is correct. It's very intentional. You generally buy compute from us, and would like to keep it about this. We don't want memory to become the thing that is blocking you. So even if you buy P1, that in Gen 1, P1 means that the machine really physically had 25 GB of RAM on the machine. In Gen 2, your workload will run on much larger machines. In fact, the machines that we will deploy by the time Gen 2 will become GA will be P5 machines with 400 GB of RAMs. Even if you buy P1, your workload will actually run on the 400 GB of RAMs. And even if that's not enough, and your different data set can be distributed across multiple machines of P5, the 400 GB of RAM. So our goal is really to move away from memory becoming a thing that you have to worry about beyond just the official licensing requirement, which is saying P1 can have only certain models, certain size, and P2 only different size. So that is where we're heading. Just cores, just consumption of CPU. Another anonymous question. Are there plans for Power BI integration with Azure DevOps for pipeline deployment? Yes, there are plans for Power BI integration with Azure DevOps. It requires, some things are easy, some things are harder. One of the things that is harder is the fact that some of the artifact formats that we use have not been documented yet, and we have to go through documentation. So you'll be able to do with DevOps all sorts of diffs and understand what change, and do partial deployment of changes. But absolutely, we hear this. It's one of the top requests, and you see 18 upvotes. Yes, absolutely, we want to do it. Okay.
What's the difference between storing your data in Azure Synapse and consuming in Power BI versus just using Synapse as a data source? I believe this means what's the difference between importing data from Synapse or doing direct query against Synapse? If the question is different, please send details. The difference is that Synapse can go really far. Synapse can load lots of data beyond the capacity of what you want inside a Power BI dataset. In both cases, Power BI will work very well with Synapse. We have lots of innovation coming that is going to allow us to work with some of the largest Synapse data warehouse. If you want more details, look up on the web something like Synapse Performance Accelerator for Power BI. Yeah. The next one from Maxi, any plans in the roadmap for online authoring of datasets?
Yes. Yes. Okay, moving on. Katrina, yes, we're working on it. It's starting. We actually started this semester to work on it, and it will take a while. We all understand the need for online authoring, especially people who have Macs and stuff like that. So yes, it's in the works. Katrina, I have seen the benefit of using the data factory as a point to ingest data into Azure SQL database, which can be viewed in Power BI. Can you please talk about the differences between that method and the method used by the Azure SQL Synapse and Power BI?
I think I can take this. I think what you're talking about, the Power BI ingestion method, is what we call data flows. And the major difference is that data factory is intended for a super professional user, while data flows is intended for a self-service user. So roughly the same capabilities, much more power in data factory, much lower adoption bar in Power BI.
Yeah. Steve is asking, do you have a strategy for differentiating reports that are created by power users and IT? Power users reports may not have the same data quality assurance that IT reports contain. The answer is yes. Look at report certifications. Report certifications, which are certified, promoted, and not promoted, I guess, allows you to really differentiate between them. Certified reports only can be certified by authorized people, typically from IT, promoted by power users, and everything else are not power users. Look at that. The feature is designed exactly for what you're asking for, Steve. Kevin.
I'll take this one. Do you believe there will be any snapshotting capabilities in Power BI data flows? Yeah, they could be there, particularly if you're backing up your data flows on the lake. Not if you are talking about the SQL engine. We don't plan to do that there because it takes too much power.
Andrew, are there improvements to the deployment pipelines planned? i.e., will we be able to see improved version controlling, more akin to Git-like management, following forking, and main branch management? That's similar to the question about Azure DevOps integration. I think the answer will be through the Azure DevOps integration. So yes, we will have Azure DevOps integration, and that's what you'll do. Or actually, it will be Git integration or both. I don't know.
Anonymous has an interesting question here, which I think we should go very quickly over. The question is long, but I'm going to get straight to the point. Do you find companies are successful standardizing on the Power BI platform or using it as a complement to other tools and product? I think resoundingly, we do find many companies being very successful standardizing on Power BI for BI.
Yeah, and we do monitor it, and if you want, we have a lot of case studies of very, very large companies that have, hundreds of thousands of users on Power BI, the standard tool. Many companies, moved away from having multiple tools and to just Power BI. So as a that standardization motion is something that we are seeing across the board, across industries, across geographies, and today Power BI is the most popular BI tool in the world, bar none. We know we actually track telemetry, and we know that there's no other tool that is being used anywhere close to what Power BI is being used. Any way to create multiple apps from the same workspace in the works for the next semester is that feature. It's not going to be called multiple apps from the same workspace. It's going to be the ability to have an app that have different permissions for different users. So different users will get subsets of the app. So that's kind of how it's going to work, and we're very excited about that. You guys are going to have fun with this.
Asking, what features are available as part of Premium Gen 2 apart from performance and auto scale? Premium Gen 2 is premium on steroids. It's not a different product. The differences that you are making there, performance and auto scale, are attributes of Premium Gen 2 that are making Premium better, but it's not a different product. So the features are all there.
And I would say it's not just performance and auto scale. It really is the taking away a lot of the headaches of administration on Gen 2 on Premium, like having to schedule the refreshes to be at certain times so they don't conflict with other refreshes and don't conflict with the peak hours of the users. So basically, our goal with Gen 2 is to allow you to sleep at night, never have to worry about the capacity being overloaded or slowing down or the refreshes not executed on time. It's really the SLA is so much better around Premium Gen 2. It's the same price and all the features of Gen 2, just much faster and much more predictable, reliable, and easy. Okay.
The next question is really cool. Is it possible to add tables, perform join between the existing tables within an existing data set, or is there any plan to add the ability to join data sets in the Power BI service? We have something really awesome that just went to public preview, which is called composite models. Is the ability to use a Power BI dataset as a source in another Power BI dataset, which I think addresses exactly that.
Yes, that's exactly it. Look at it. People call it revolutionary, the holy grail of Power BI. Look at composite models in Power BI. Alex is asking, I guess, thank you for taking my last question. One more. Are there plans to enable custom detail row drill through expressions in Power BI? Not at this point. Not at this point.
There's an anonymous question. Are there any white papers or tools to convert to Power BI from Cognos, or do you consider that's a complete rewrite? Frankly, I do not know. I assume there are some papers. Amir, do you know more?
There are papers, and I think more than that, there are people, the service provider that specialize in that. I think WePro has a whole practice that allow people to convert from other legacy products to Power BI. We have a lot of customers that move from Cognos, move from business objects, and from more modern tool like Tableau to Power BI. A lot of companies can offer those services. Microsoft itself does not offer those kind of features or services ourselves for all sorts of reasons. So let's see. Is there a way to identify? Is there a way to identify specific workspace using resources for my overall premium capacity? Is there a way? And the answer is yes. You will have with Premium Gen 2. One of the coolest features is actually the reporting feature that tells you where is the CPU going to, and who's consuming it and when, and all the way to the workspace level. So yes, this you'll get that full reporting, very detailed in Premium Gen 2. Mark is asking, Are there plans for users without tenant organization to publish Power BI reports for sharing like consumer level version? Not really. You would have to have some kind of a tenant. You can publish to web to share with people who don't have or not belong to the tenant. So publish to web is available, but the publishing is always coming from a tenant, and a tenant is typically associated with organization. We don't yet have a consumer version of it. We are looking at all sorts of OneDrive integration. That might be filling the bill as well. With OneDrive, it will just work, I think. But it's not. We're not there yet. We don't have the OneDrive integration, but clearly on the roadmap. Let's see. Anonymous is asking paginate report question. Any plans to create linked report like we can in SSRS?
We heard the request. Not very often. One way to do that is probably to have parameters to your report and have personal sets of parameters, but right now we don't plan to do that.
Jason is asking, are there plans for supporting multilingual reports depending on user locale and dynamic parameters? Yes, there are such plans. In fact, it's something that we have. I don't remember exactly where it shows up because analysis services support that capability to have, but I don't think the desktop yet supports it. So it's something that's always on the bubble every semester. I don't think it's going to make it this semester, but maybe next one. Certainly something we are aware of and would like to get to. CM management of report. Back to the again, same question around the Devops, GitHub, diff, merge, and so forth. Yes, we're aware, or we're looking at Azure Devops integration. For this, we need to publish the report format, which we haven't done yet. We may need to do it anyway for other reasons. So certainly very high, top of mind for us. How will Power FX come to Power BI? We don't have any definite plans for it at this point. Anonymous is asking, this was Encore that was asking. Anonymous is asking, is there a plan for enabling Power BI service to connect to Azure Virtual Networking without the use of a gateway? Yes, it was today we announced.
Yes.
We announced the VNet support for Power BI. That was an announcement today. Look at our blog. You can now connect to the Azure Virtual Network and all the Azure services without having to deploy your own gateway. It's just built into Power BI. Andre is asking, what are the odds for dark mode in Power BI Desktop coming out this year, perhaps? Not very high.
And with that, we are actually over time.
I know we
have so many questions. Thank you all for your expertise and your time. We have 2 more Ask the Expert opportunities on this topic later on in the conference. We invite you all to join us again. Also, please join us for Arun Ulag's session tomorrow, March 3rd at 3 p.m. Pacific time and March 4th at 12:30 a.m. Pacific time, trying to cover all those time zones. We have a number of resources that have been posted in the chat. We hope you will join our community. And thank you so very much, Amir, Bogdan, and Hayden, for all of your expertise on Power.
Thank you guys, really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
you.
Thanks for your questions.